Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So today we're going to do a couple, why don't you see them a lot on the battlefield anymore? This first one is going to be in the Challenger, and when I do the post-game stats for this one, I think I keep saying ARL. I was thinking AMX, but the AMX and ARL 44 look a lot alike, but I was meaning the AMX, the Tier 7, it's the MLE 40 something, I can't remember, but I'm trying to figure out kind of why you don't see a lot of these on the battlefield anymore, and it narrows down mainly to armor and gun. This one just actually had a nice buff done on the gun, but now I'm going to turn the turret as far as I can to the right, and here in a second you'll watch, that's as far as it turns right there. That's as far 60 degrees to the right and 60 degrees to the left. That's as far as you can turn it. And I think that might be kind of the downfall of this TD, because you're really limited to what you can do. You can't play it as a light because you can't circle strafe stuff. It's got the speed of a light tank. It's got a wicked gun. You'll see I take some shots here and there that my shooting wasn't spot on for this match, I'll tell you that. A problem that you'll run into is the turret traverse is really slow. You can see as I'm moving the gun, it's pretty slow. It's like 12. And the problem you have is when you're trying to, lead a target, that a lot of times they'll outrun your lead because the turret moves so darn slow. Accuracy on it's pretty good. I had some kind of piss poor shooting, but just trying to lead targets with this, it's a little bit tough because of the speed of the turret is so slow. I had a good chuckle. The armor on this, on the turret in the rear is 200, but on the front it's 50. I guess they were afraid that, it was going to be running away from the battle a lot or something. Some of these shots I take just must have been way, way off. It's got a decent reload for, doing, I think it's 220, was it 220 average? 280, I'm sorry. 220 is the penetration, standard pen, and your damage is, average damage is 280. So it's got really good. Like that shot right there, I'm like, how in the hell did that miss? It didn't even hit him. I was thinking, maybe it bounced. Now you can see the shell with the AP doesn't have the best velocity in the world. I was aiming actually for not that T-32. I was actually aiming, or was that T-37, right? I always get that messed up. Yeah, T-37. I was actually aiming for the one that I had just shot. Why do I keep forgetting to do this? There we go. So yeah, I was aiming at the don't know which one I was aiming at there. Maybe it was a Leopard, I'm not real sure now. But I had hit him, he was backing up, I was aiming to the right a little. Yeah, it was the T-34. The shielded, that's what it was, the T-34 shielded. And I was trying to get a shot on him while he was backing up and to take him out, and then the round just kind of went way out to the left. So my shooting so far has not been superb. And you can see these guys on the enemy team were doing the right thing. They're all bunched up, but they're grouped up, and they're focusing fire really well on, unfortunately, my team. But the thing is with this tank, I wanted to go down there and help them, but with the traverse I have on this, it just wasn't going to happen. If I went down there, they would just circle the crap out of me, and I'd be dead in just literally probably seconds. Now this Leopard, if you see, I'm having trouble keeping the turret, my aiming in front of him there. So he comes up over, so we finally get him taken out. Now I didn't want to really move too much because I figured I was going to get spotted, and I do get spotted, and I was surprised because the tank started shooting at me from over here, and I believe it was a 3485. I think I hit this guy. Yeah, see, it hits nice and hard. I mean, we're getting some really good, hits the damage on there. Right here, it's 3485M. So he hits me, and oh, there he finally gets spotted. But he was sitting there just wrecking me, and he was getting shots off and not lighting up. So I'm thinking I better back out of there. And that's S51 artillery. If he hits me, oh yeah, I'd be dead with a quickness. So now I'm trying to use the bushes to my advantage to work on this T1 heavy, and I don't have Sixth Sense, so I have no clue if I'm spotted. Took a blind shot. I'm still trying to stay in the bushes, and then I pop out, and I figure I'm going to get down here and make him have to come up over the hill. I don't think I was still spotted at that point because, yeah, he wasn't even aiming at me. But you can see this has got good maneuverability. It's just you're really limited because you can't traverse your turret all the way around. So, just for instance, if, let's say, a tank were setting right over here in these bushes. I'm going this way. I've got my gun all the way aimed to the right, as far as it'll go, 60 degrees. So all of a sudden, if a tank comes booking out of here, a light tank, I'm going to have to literally either stop and spin, the whole tank around, or try and circle around and come at them this way. You're really limited because once you come out like I am now, you don't want to stop because they've got artillery. You're limited because you can't traverse your turret all the way around, so then you open up for being able to get shot at by tanks that will, get behind you, and you can't even turn your turret around to shoot them because they're going to follow behind you, and you're screwed. So you're kind of limited, and I think that's why a lot of people don't play this, is it doesn't have any armor. It's got really great speed, really good gun, but no armor unless they shoot you in the back of the turret. I guess you'd have to hope for that. But literally, no armor, and then a very limited traverse on your gun or your turret, so you can't spin it all the way around to really defend yourself if you have tanks up behind you. So it limits you because you have to turn your whole tank around to go on the attack mode. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and move up a little bit at a time here and see if I can get anything spotted. I'm staying down low and kind of in the bushes, and I'm even running into the red line there. So we light up the SU-85. I hit the dirt, that's what it was. I thought I bounced off him, but ends up the SU-85 takes him out, so it's nice to know I've got some backup. I've got the Achilles back here. VK's right over there. T-67 is way back by Artie. I think he's trying to defend over here. We had a real good team, actually. Yeah, so it was kind of nice to have these guys, kind of watching my rear as I move forward. Because, like I said, I've got 394, pretty much one, maybe two shots on most everything. And again, that's where the traverse of the turret, I'm trying to keep on my reticle on that Hellcat, and it's hard because it just moves so darn slow. So now I'm just hoping I don't get schmucked by artillery. I think I see an Artie shot here in a second, matter of fact. Yeah, right there. So I had to have been lit by the Hellcat after I took him out. But I'm going to stick by the bushes and move in, and all I got left now is the artillery. I think the VK-2801 takes him out here in a second. But you can see it's got awesome speed, awesome maneuverability. You're just so limited with the no traverse on the turret. That really sticks a, stick in your spokes because, if something comes up behind you, you literally have to turn your whole tank around because you can't turn your turret. If you think about it, if there was a light tank over here, I'm either going to have to do one of the two. Stop right here and turn the whole tank around, the tank destroyer around to aim that way, or, start turning as sharp as I can to the right to be able to turn around and aim that way. And by then, he could have hit you 2 times if it's an auto loader, or 3 times finished you off. So, yeah, it just limits how the playability of this. The gun on it is phenomenal. It's got great penetration. You have no trouble penning anything if you're top tier. Even if you're bottom tier, the premium round bumps you up to 250 something. 252. So yeah, you can still, defend yourself with tier 9s. You just got to stay way in the back and not get spotted, because as soon as you're spotted, I mean, look how that 3485M, he hit me like two or three times, and knocked me down from 900 hit points to 394. Like one, maybe two more shots, and I'd have been dead. So easy to pen this thing. Yeah, you can see, like I was saying, I think I say this in the post-game stats, this is 200 millimeters of armor in the rear, but this piece that goes around the top of it is not at all close to 200 millimeters. It's probably, I think it ends up being like 40 or 50 millimeters. So it's thick right there, but this is just a piece of like plastic. And everything goes right through that. So easy. Is that another? It looks like I got hit right here too. So yeah, I mean, doesn't take much to actually penetrate this. It's got, like I said, good speed, good gun, but I think that's all it's going for. And a lot of people don't like playing it because you're a rear line tank, and as soon as you come out, it's just easy to get annihilated. But yeah, if you want to hold on for a minute, I'll have some post-game stats, and then we'll do the AMX M4, I can't remember which one it is. It's not the Tier 8. It's not the Liberty. It's M4 something or other. AMX M4. Anyways, we'll go ahead and do that one too. That's another one that you just don't see a lot of on the battlefield. And I think that one's more geared because of kind of the standard pen sucks and the armor kind of sucks on that one. But yeah, if you want to hold on for a minute, I'll be right back. Alrighty, so it looks like these missions they're not really, I don't want to say hard, but they're just long. You've got to do like gazillions of damage, and you got to kill so many tanks and stuff. And I finally got this one done, and it's not like I'm really trying. I just figure you'll get them when you get them. But yeah, so I ran the Challenger. This is another tank. It was a toss-up between this one and the ARL. 44. This one is also a tier 7. They recently did buff this one, and they gave it a gun that was worth a crap, which is really nice. Unfortunately, I didn't say my aiming was the best sometimes. The turret on it moves really slow. It only goes to about was it 60, I'm guessing? Yeah, 60 degree angle on each side. So you can't traverse your turret all the way around. It does move really slow. So if you're trying to track a target to lead it, you really got to watch it, because it's just really if like that leopard. I think it was a leopard. I was trying to shoot at him, and I was trying to keep my turret in front of him, but he's moving so fast it was hard to keep the turret, in front of him to shoot in front of him so he'd kind of run into your round. And yeah, they did a real good number on the gun on this. It's got really good penetration for a Tier 7, 220 standard, 252 for your premium, and 47 for your HE. I only shot, I think I shot one, I don't even think I shot all standard rounds that match. 220 was plenty to go through just anything that I was going to run into on that match. But this is one that I'm surprised we don't see a lot more of these, except for the armor is trash, and that's the only reason I can think, because even though I was top tier, I stayed in the very back, because when I finally did move forward, you see how fast I started losing hit points, because everything pens you. You're not going to bounce anything. It's going to do, and if you start getting hit with HE shells, it's going to do full damage. But the thing that really cracks me up is the turret is 50 in the front, 40 on the sides, 200 in the rear. Did somebody, when they designed this, were they retarded and put the gun on the wrong side, or did they mount the turret wrong? It's got 200, I mean right here, look, 200 millimeters of armor on the back of the turret. So how do you work that? Do you shoot and then turn around real quick and aim your back to the the enemies, and then when you're ready to shoot, flip it around and then shoot and then turn it back around? No, I don't know why they did what they did with the armor on it, but it needs the 200 in the front. That would make sense to me, not 50. It'd be 50 in the rear. I just don't understand. I'm completely 100% confused why, when they designed this tank, they would have done that. It just makes no sense to me at all whatsoever. And even on the backside, if you're shooting at this big ring that goes around the whole turret, that is not 200 millimeters. I think that ring is only 50 millimeters all the way around. Your 200 millimeters is this big, thick chunk right there. You can see it sticking out. It's like a big slab of armor they threw on the back when they really needed to throw it on the front. But, yeah, it's real easy to penetrate this. I think it's got the, looks like the Cromwell hull. And it's got a wicked gun. It's the only thing it has going for it, though. Even at top tier, you can't come out until you're doing cleanup like I was doing there. You need to set back, support the fast movers, and, you know, because once you come out, I mean, I started losing hit points left and right once I came out and started, driving around and trying to get shots on stuff, because everything pens you. But that was a Mastery Badge 2. Fighter for effect, a high caliber, and we got a bond for that. We hit the T-3045M. Oh, and the spotting view range on this, I was surprised. Yeah, it's 463. I've got nods on it, and that 3485M somehow was shooting me and not lighting up. It was that one, 3485M. I was really confused on how he could spot me, shoot me, he could shoot and not light up. I don't know. But anyways, we hit him 2 times for 417, finished him off, knocked out his driver. Hellcat, we hit him 2 times for 570, finished him off, knocked out his gun. Churchill 1, we hit him 1 time for 120, finished him off. T1 Heavy, we hit him twice for 509, finished him off. T-34S, the shielded, we hit him 1 time for 254, knocked out his turret. SU-85, oh, we spotted him there. I took a shot and I don't know if I don't know if I hit him and it bounced or what, but he got the spotting damage for him for 204. And the Leopard, we hit him once for 233, finished him off, and knocked out his commander. We did 2,103 damage, got 5 kills, base experience of 849. Had 18 shots, 10 hit, 9 pens. So you can see my shooting was not the best in the world that match. 2103 damage from a distance more than 300 meters, 921. We got hit 3 times, all 3 penned. We damaged 6, destroyed 5. Damage with our assistance was 204. And we shot all standard rounds, so we made 16,508 credits. Yeah, this thing really needs a good... Well... No, I was going to say they ought to buff the armor up on it, but then it's going to be way overpowered, because this gun is phenomenal. It's got really, really, really good speed. I mean, it books right along. Yeah, it's got specific power to weights 19.12. Top speed is 52 in forward, 20 in reverse. It's got 10 degrees of gun depression, 20 elevation. I mean, everything about it's good. Really, really good, except for it's got trash armor, but in order to get that speed, it's going to have trash armor. But you can't traverse your turret all the way around, and it really moves super slow. I'm thinking, yeah, turret traverse 18.77. That is really bad. And your traverse of your hull is 31.29, which makes up for it a little bit, but you can only aim your gun 60 degrees left or right. So I think that's right about... Yeah, maybe over here. Yeah, it might be a little bit further back, but you can't turn it all the way around. So, with that slow turret and not being able to traverse your turret all the way around, it's not like you can take the role of a light tank or even a medium tank and try and circle strafe somebody, because your gun doesn't spin all the way around. So you could, do a lock on, go to spin around a target, and it ain't gonna happen because your turret really limits you to not being able to circle strafe. It limits you to kind of doing what I did, staying in the back, because you don't have the armor, you don't have the traverse of the gun going all the way around, so you can't really come out and play with everybody, because once you do, like you saw, I got hit with 3 shots, all 3 pen me, no problem, and I didn't have a lot of health left towards the end there because of that. So, I guess as it stands, it's probably really good, because The concealment's not the best. I went with gun rammer, gun lane drive, and nods. Can't talk. Binocular telescopes, nods, to help the view range get up there quite a bit. Because once this is spotted, yeah, you get just wrecked. If you're bottom tier, it's nice because with this gun now, you see tier 9s, 220 you might have a little trouble going through some tier 9s, but 252 you should be able to go through most tier 9s. There's going to be some that's still going to, you're still going to struggle with just because their front ends are all funky angled and stuff like that. But you do get APCR. I only carry one HE shell because HE just sucks. Yeah, negative 266 for the firepower on that. APCR is nice because it gets to the target a lot quicker. You got better velocity out of the barrel, better penetration, obviously. But the AP is actually still really good too. What's that say? 94 caliber, 94 millimeter. It's a 32 pounder, so their 32 pounder is equal to a 94 millimeter or 94 caliber or millimeter, yeah. Huh. That's kind of crazy. I always thought this was like a 98, but you never know. But it's all in all good. You just don't see a lot of these because I think a lot of people don't want to play it because, well, two reasons. One, because you saw how I played it. You had to sit in the back and snipe. Two, it has no armor. It is really good. It's, kind of based on your Cromwell hull. But like I said, you don't have the traverse of the turrets, so you're limited to, you start getting out there and you're really limited to what you can aim at. And, if you got a tank coming up on the rear of you real quick, well, you got to turn your whole tank, the whole hull around because you can't, spin your whole turret around. So, anyways, this is another one that, I was thinking, well, why don't people play it? Well, that's got to be what it is. Because it's got a really good, the gun on it is just phenomenal. But, yeah, so if you want to hold on for a minute, I'll have I think the ARL 44 was the other one I did. If we can find it. No, we're going through tanks all day long. I miss having my 3 tank carousel. But, there's a couple other tanks I want to do. Tanks that kind of have been forgotten and tanks you don't really see much on the battlefield anymore. This and I'm pretty sure it was ARL 44 that I did too. Both those, you just don't see a lot of them on the battlefield. And, I think that's the biggest reason why is between the armor and the gun. That's why a lot of people won't play them. So, anyways, if you want to hold on for a minute, I'll have that next one for you. And I'll be right back. Alright, it's the AMX M445. I keep wanting to say 49 Liberté. It's the 45. It's the little brother of the AMX M449 Liberté. That's the Tier 8. This is the Tier 7. It's the AMX M445. The goods and bads about this, it's got a great gun. It's got nice damage per shot of 300. The standard round is 300 per shot. The premium is 330 per shot. Kind of like your Type 4, Type 5 heavies. You use premium rounds, you're going to get a little more damage. I thought I shot all standard rounds on this. I had it set up to go to a premium than a standard. I could have swore I shot all standard on this. I might have shot my first round premium and then went to standard, but I could have swore it was all standard. But anyways, so the speed of this has got really good speed for a heavy. Maneuverability, turret traverse is good. Gun depression is great at 10, negative 10, plus 20 something. The only downfall is your standard round is 175 pen, but when you're top tier, you can do pretty good with with that 175. Your premium is 258. I'm sorry, 223 on your premium. Yeah, 175 on your standard. It's kind of strange that it does that extra 30 extra damage using the premium rounds, but hey, whatever. I was more wanting to try and make credits this time. So what did we hit him for? 337, 330 average damage on the premium. Then we switch over to standard and hit for 290. So still wouldn't have finished him off with premium round anyways, because still had 123 health, but he'd have been at probably closer to 90 health if I had used 2 premium rounds. But like I said, I was going to go ahead and try making credits. And that T-3485 down there, I take a blind shot. I don't know if that hit or not. I'm thinking it might have, because in the post-game stats it shows I hit one of the 3485s twice, and it might have been that one. Not really sure though. Still learning this map, so like that WZ-131 GFT, I'm thinking, am I able to shoot him, or then I look at the mini-map and I'm like, oh, he's on the other side of the building. As you can see, I was thinking he was like in here somewhere. I like this. I like the new maps. All the new ones that they introduced now, even the old one that they reconfigured and redid. I really like them all. This one, not the most friendly map for artillery, because everybody kind of plays in the city, so you're limited to being able to get shots off. Here, I was gonna poke out there and see if I could light something there and make sure it still wasn't invisible. But I want to pop in here and see what I can get for damage wise, and at 3485 we plug in for a good 292. And that Churchill 7, we plug him a good one. And poof, I'm like, what in the hell did you shoot me with? He only hit me for 39. He's using HE out of the E2, which, I probably would have been using the HE out of that too. It's a great gun if you can hit a weak spot on something. If you're hitting the more armored parts of a tank, you ain't gonna do so good. Well, that time he did 158. Well, this is 30.02M. I don't know if he thought he could not shoot me. And then I hit him right there, and all it does is take his track off. I'm like, are you kidding me? But I've got the good spot here, because I can aim right in that little hole there, and he's got to try aiming from that distance in that little hole. So we take him out. 3485 hits me in the... So you can see everything's penning me. Standard rounds are going through me. If you watch this, you can see the reticle was bouncing up and down between it's gonna pen and it's not gonna pen on the 175 pen. So he aimed up on the higher part of his front plate there, and we were able to take him and hit him. And we take him out and just kind of keep pushing forward. Normally when I'm playing any kind of heavy tank, if I'm top tier, I really push hard, because I would rather use my hit points, my armor, my gun to try and light up the enemy tanks, push the enemy tanks back, and let our mediums and stuff kind of push up through also. But I like to take the lead and push the best I can. This little AMX 1375, I was like, I lit him up for a second there. I'm like, what the hell, where is he? And I take a shot, you can see that round just dropped off like big time. So now you just kind of got to go through the buildings a little at a time, because like I said, I'm thinking this Churchill's like right around the corner right here, and he's actually around another corner. It's like, geez, oh Pete's, so still getting to know the maps. I make sure I aim for his weak spot, because on that Churchill, if I can do this, if you aim in this little square area right here, pretty much anywhere, you'll be able to pen. If you aim down here, you're probably going to bounce, and if he angles it more, you'll just knock his track off and do no damage, and the turret on that is pretty darn good. So yeah, if you aim for anywhere in this little square area right here, you're more apt to go through than trying to go through lower plate on that, because this actually got really good armor. So now I'm just thinking, where's the SG-100? It was last spotted over here to the right. So I'm thinking, yeah, maybe he's still over there. So I push forward. And he is there, and I get the spotting assist for that, and we win the match. But yeah, when I play my heavy tanks, you can see everything was just going through this like no tomorrow. Actually, one went right. That was a HE shell where he splattered that, and you see a nice round hole right there. But oh yep, got one on the side right here, and I don't know if that was. I can't look at it. That one right there might have been a bounce. I don't think I got hit in the rear at all. Maybe that was just, those might just be for looks, because I only had one shell bounce off me for 135, and that was the Cromwell. I think it was in the very beginning there, and he bounced off my front. But yeah, the armor on this is kind of a, I don't want to say a joke, but it's not really that good at all. Pretty much everything that hit me penned me with standard rounds. The gun on this is actually pretty good, but you just don't see a lot of these, and I think it's because it's got a mixture of different things that people don't like about it. It's actually pretty good speed-wise, maneuverability, but I think it's the armor, not having much of really that good armor for a heavy tank, and kind of low penetration on your standard round. I think that's why you just don't see a lot of these out on the battlefield. All in all, it's actually pretty darn good. It's got great gun depression, I think, and if you start having trouble going through stuff, you can always load APCR, which will bump you up to 223, and you get an extra 30 damage per hit with the premium rounds. So, yeah, anyways, if you want to hold on, I will have some post-game stats for you, so I'll be right back. Alrighty. Well, shut this off real quick. Starting to feel like a popsicle. So, this is first time that I've ever had this tank on my channel. I've never even done a review of it. I was looking at tanks through like tier 7 through 10, trying to determine kind of what one do I want to focus on that you don't see on the battlefield much, and does it need some loving, or is it good to go? Well, I came across the AMX M4 MLE 45, the little brother of the AMX MLE M4 49 Liberté. This is a tier 7, and that's tier 8. So, standard pen on this, 175, not too shabby, at tier 7. I think the other day when I did the review of the IS-2-M, I believe I left it on premium rounds, and I watched the review to make sure everything, looked good, and then I posted it. And after I posted, I got thinking, I'm like, did I run? I think I ran all premium rounds when I was top tier, and I went back and looked, and sure shit I did. So I apologize about that. I don't like running premium rounds at top tier if I can help it. I usually do my first round as top, as a first shot premium, just in case you get up there and you at least want one shot of damage. I hate not doing any damage, and I've had it where I'll shoot something, bounce, and then get just wiped off the map, and it's like, shit, I didn't do any damage. So from that point on, this is years ago, I decided every time I do a match, my very first round is going to be a premium round, and I'll switch over to standard after that if I'm top tier. Depending if I'm bottom tier, then I might leave it on premium rounds. Well, I was top tier in the IS-2-M, and put it on a premium, shot, hit a wall, went and put it on premium again to reload a premium shell for my first shell, and then had left it on premium because I came across an OI experimental towards the very end, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to put it on a premium. I'm like, oh, you retard, you're already on a premium. So yeah, I kind of made a mistake of doing that, but you can get away when you're top tier, especially with what we had on the enemy team. Nothing with a super amount of armor. I mean, a couple of them had some pretty good armor, but nothing that 175 really couldn't handle. The E2, that's got actually really good frontal armor. It's sloped, and when I was aiming at him, you'll see, or you saw that I had to kind of lift the gun up and down till I had a better chance of penning, because if the lower you go on that front plate, is thicker and it's got more slope, so you got less chance of penetrating. And then as you go up, it starts turning to a better chance of penning. And then I shot and took him out. I hit him a couple times, and he was flinging HE at me. So every time I'd pull out, he'd slap me in the face with an HE, and he had this big old poof of smoke and fire and stuff. But anyways, yeah. So this was a Master Badge Class 1 Reaper, Fire for Effect. Fighter, Duelist, Bruiser. We got 1 bond for that and a high caliber. We hit the Churchill 7, which is really good. That thing is actually a very good tank. It's got good frontal armor, but you just got to shoot in between the tracks. If he would have angled it, I probably wouldn't have been able to pen him with standard rounds. I probably would have had to load it up premium. But he just kept it straight on at me, and you can shoot right where that driver's hatch is and go right through it pretty easy. So we hit him twice for 412, finished him off when we originally spotted him. The Cromwell, he zung way up to the front there trying to spot, which, kudos on him for at least spotting. But we hit him twice for 627. Knocked out a track on him, bounced one of his rounds, and somebody finished him off when he was trying to come around the other side. He was trying to flank me, I think. But when he came through the building, though, there was a tank sitting right there, so surprise. The E2, we hit him 2 times for 618, finished him off. 3485, hit him 2 times for 557, finished him off. Knocked out his driver and his radio operator, and spotted him originally. I took a blind shot up the road on the far side. I wonder if that might have been a blind shot. I'm not real sure now. Because I got hit by something down there that didn't light up, so I took a shot down that way. And I can't remember if I actually shot him twice knowingly, or I know I definitely did once. Crap, I can't remember now. I'll have to pay attention when I'm actually doing the other part of it. But anyways, we knocked him out. VK30.02M, we hit him 2 times for 487, knocked him out, knocked out his engine in the track. And upon a spotting, got hit for 117. We originally spotted him. And the SU-100, we spotted him. He got hit for 17. And we got 16 base capture points. So we got 2,701 damage, 4 kills, a base experience of 1,048. He had 13 shots, 11 hit, 10 pen, 2701 damage. We got hit 7 times, 6 pen, 1 bounce, 135 damage bounce with our armor. Spotted 3, damage 5, destroyed 4, 134 damage with our assistance, and 16 base capture points. And after all said and done, we still made 27,666. Ooh, not the 666 in credits. The armor on this, nothing special. I'm pretty sure all the rounds that were hitting me were standard, and they were pretty well going right through me. We'll do a quick review of this, just because I never have. The gun on it is actually pretty good. The reason I like this gun the most is the Alpha, the 300 damage with your standard round, and they entice you to want to shoot premium, because if you look, your premium bumps you up to 223 pen, but you also do 330 damage. So it's kind of like, you'll pen it with 175, but you're going to do 30. It's almost like the Type 5, Type 4 heavy deal. You go from 175 pen, 300 damage, but if you shoot premium, you're going to do 223 penetration and 330 average damage. So it's kind of a, should I shoot standard, or do I really want to shoot premium, not make any credits, and hit for 30 more average damage? It's a tough choice. I shot all standard except for 1 premium round, because most of the tanks I was going to have to hit twice anyways to kill, some of them 3 times. Now, if I would have shot the premium rounds, yeah, a couple of them I could have taken out in 2 shots versus 3. But I just wanted to make more credits than anything and show you that the gun at that tier could penetrate pretty much anything you come across. And you get 54, which is actually not bad for the HE shell, does 360 average damage. Average damage per minute is 1875. Dispersion isn't too bad stock at 0.41, but it's not too good either. Aim time is kind of lengthy at 2.7. I don't have a huge awesome crew in this, just 1 crew skill. Well, actually working on 1 crew skill, 100% crew. Well, 116, but it's still 100%. You get a bonus for something I got in here. I think it's vents. I loaded up mine with the gun rammer, gun lane drive, and vents, and I don't think, I wonder if you can put vertical stabilizers on this. I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't. Certain tanks you can, certain tanks you can't. Reason I went with the vents versus for something for view range is to help with the dispersion aim time, because they all kind of right on that border of crappy but okay. So with the vents, it bumps it down to okay. Where are we at here? Rate of fire for me is 7.41 rounds a minute, so my reload is 8.1 seconds. Traverse is 32, not too bad, and Halt Traverse is 25.6. So you got to be careful you don't get circle strafed. Gun depression is awesome at -10 and +12. Aim time is it's all right at 2.3 seconds. Dispersion is still nothing superb at 0.38. I really like when tanks dispersion is 3, 4 or less, because obviously the less the better. 3, 2, 3, 1 would be optimal, but you know that's only on your German tanks and German tank destroyers and some of the other tank destroyers that are higher tier. So you gotta take what you get, and 0.38 is as good as I can get it for now. I mean, I could put food on here, which would help out a lot, but it's only going to knock your dispersion down like to 0.37. My average damage per minute is 2,222. 2222. You get a pretty good chunk of hit points at 1350. The hull armor in the front is 90, and the turret is 100. The turret doesn't really have any super weak spots. I mean, the commander's head sticks up a little bit. At distance, really hard to penetrate. It's not really, that thick. It looks a little bit of a slab of spaced armor right here around the gun mantle. I imagine they can probably go through, it looks like, maybe they're the same size. It looked like this side was a little bit wider than that one, but I think it's even. So they could probably go through the, sides of the gun, because that's just regular, that's not spaced armor. And they can probably penetrate the cheeks on the turret too. Front plate, not too hard to hit, and it's only 90 millimeters. It is sloped, so if you angle at about a 45, you're doing yourself a favor, because this doesn't have like your other Amexes where it's got that square piece shaved off right here. It makes it a weak spot, so that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. On the sides, yeah, the hull is 40, and the turret is 70, so side scraping, you're going to get penetrated by pretty much everything. Maybe 75 millimeters and less will bounce, but I'm thinking 85 and above are probably gonna pen your side armor, because you only have 40, so basically it's gonna be 2 times your armor. So anyways, on the rear you got 40 and 40, so hopefully they don't sling a whole lot of HE, but 40 is not too bad. Still going to do a little bit more damage than they would if it hit you in the front or the side of the turret, but not too bad at all. The armor for tier 7 is okay, but when you're bottom tier, yeah, you're going to get melted through. Bottom tier, like I say, play in the back, just support your higher tier tanks. Just take what you can when you can get it for damage. It's a 55.63 ton tank, so not super heavy for a heavy. It says heavy, right? Yes, it is. I had to make sure for a minute there. I mean, I've got mediums that I think way more than that. Engine horsepower is pretty good at 850. Specific power to weight is pretty good at 15.28. Top speed is 35 and forward, 12 in reverse. Concealment is 8.22. View range is 382. So that's why I didn't go with coated optics, because it was on lower tiers. If you're right around 400, you're doing pretty good. So 382, I figured good enough, because I've got the recon skill, situational awareness, and this the vents helped out too. So it bumped it up to getting it closer to 400. And signal range is 800. So yeah, it's you just don't see a lot of these on the battlefield. I think it's because it just doesn't have the best armor in the world. It's kind of an average tank. Nothing really. If I were to want to buff anything on it, I would probably buff the frontal armor a little bit. make the front hull maybe, well, let's say 110, and make the make the hull armor 110 from 90, and the turret maybe 1,000. No, I'm just kidding. I'd say like 120. Make it a little bit thicker, just a little bit harder for the smaller tiers to go through, because all the tanks that were shooting me were going through me pretty easy. And the gun, I would bump that 175 crappy. It's 175 is just so pitiful. I mean, if you see, your bottom tier 175, you're going to struggle to really go through anything. 223 is really nice, and then you get that extra 30 damage, but then you're not going to make any credits if you're out to make credits. So, I mean, like I showed yesterday with that IS-2-M. That only gets 217 for its premium round, and I couldn't even go through the lower plate of a E75. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. You guys take it easy, be safe, and I will see you on the battlefield.